In the last session, we discussed RDS, the relational database system, right? And today, what we will do, we will be doing the hands-on. We will be getting into RDS and we will be configuring it, and then we will be accessing it from our EC2 instance. Okay, so let's do that. So first, what we will do is we will be creating our RDS instance. So from here, okay, first thing, let me get back to my region. Okay, so here let me go with Mumbai, and on top I will look for RDS, so our relational database service. So here I will click on Aurora and RDS. Okay, so here we go. So in the left pan I can click on databases. So right in the left pan, so just click on databases in the left pan, and then here once you get right these database, you will see that there are no databases right here. We will click on create database on top right corner, and then we will click on full configuration, right? We will go with full configuration, not the express configuration, because in express configuration most of the things will be already configured. So right, we have to
Okay.
go with the default. So but we will be doing right the full configuration with step by step, right?
That's like a
So
custom, is that right? Full configuration is like a custom setup.
mm, sorry, cost down.
Oh, okay. I said full configuration is like a custom setup. It's not.
Correct, correct,
Yeah.
definitely.
Okay.
Yes, it is
Okay.
custom.
Okay. Customized.
Yes,
Okay. Okay.
customized. Yes, fully customized. Yes. So we'll go with the full, and here you see full configuration, right? So here we have, right, okay, different database engines, right? Here you see options. Number one, we have Aurora based, right? MySQL compatible. So what we have seen about this one, right, in the last session, that MySQL, right, Aurora based MySQL is 5x faster, right, than the standard MySQL, right? Then we have Aurora based PostgreSQL. So this Aurora based PostgreSQL, right, is 3x better than the standard PostgreSQL, right? Now we have MariaDB, then we have Oracle, right? Microsoft SQL Server, and then we also have IBM DB2, right? So these are the database engines available here in RDS, right? Now the first two, right, they fall under Aurora, right? Because they are Aurora compatible, and rest you can see these are right six other general standard databases engines we have, right? So six, seven, eight, total eight database engines we can say we have. But again, these two are right. We can count them into right one, that is Aurora based, right? MySQL and PostgreSQL. Then rest standard databases, right? Six. So and then we will go with MySQL, because here MySQL will have right the free tier access. Okay, so we will go with MySQL, and then we have the option again. You see, full configuration and easy create. Now, if we go for easy create, most of the things will be pre-selected for us. Let me show you. So the default, you see, when we go easy create, it will do all these selections for us, right? So we don't have to do much here. So right, we don't have much things right to customize, right? We just get the option to select right the DB instance size, and also right the identifier of the instance, right? That is the name of the instance and the username. So that is what we get right to select when we are going with easy create, right? But when we go for full configuration, so everything right we need to do, you see, so all the setup right we need to customize, right? So here we will go with, definitely we will go with free tier, right? Free tier is the right one that we will go with. So Here you see in free tier we have only one availability option, right? The availability and durability we have only one, that is single AZ deployment, right? That will create only one primary instance, right? Only one primary instance. We will be not getting these replicas, right? In free tier. So here you see in multi-AZ DB cluster deployment, we get three instances, right? So one is the primary instance, another two is right standby, readable standby, right? And the other one, the second option you have, it is multi-AZ instance deployment. So here you have two instances, right? One primary and one is standby, right? So that is what right we get here. So here in this second one, it creates a primary DB instance, right, with no readable standby, right, instance in a separate availability zone. So this is right. This one is right whenever you see the primary fails right here. So then the standby will be promoted as the primary instance, and then it will start taking the read and write traffic. But here in the first option that we have the multi-AZ DB cluster deployment, right, with three instance, here you have the primary instance that will perform right read and write, and also the standbys, right, these are readable. These are readable, right? So it can handle read traffic, right? And definitely if the primary instance goes down, then the one of the readable right instance will be promoted as primary instance, right? So this is the difference, and definitely with the single AZ deployment, this will be right definitely not fault tolerant. So if primary instance dies, right, if it goes down, then you will lose access to your database, right? But definitely for free tier access, we will go with this one because the databases, right, these are very costly. And I think Wilson, you have shown me right the bill of RDS.
Oh, the bills.
Yes, yes. Previously, you kept it running, right? And you got some bill, I think. Is that you? I'm
Uh,
not
no,
sure.
not me. I haven't configured this. No,
Mm,
not me.
okay, okay,
Although
okay.
I have
Not.
my bill running. Yeah, I have it running instance. So charging. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then it's not you. Maybe it was someone else in another class. Okay. So actually, let me tell you. Okay. So he just he created right. He deployed this database, right, MySQL based database without a free tier, right, and production level, and he got right a bill of around $3,700,
Wow,
right?
that's
So
a lot.
it's a lot, yeah. So but generally, right, what AWS do is if you get bills right like this accidentally, right, so one time they used to revoke it, right? So they used to issue a credit for that, and we can just
Okay.
use the credit to right
Okay.
manage right that bill. So one time we can do that, right? So he managed to do that, and they right consider his request, and then right, so he got out of that bill. So it was a huge one, right? $3,700. So it's really a big one. So okay, so here we go. Okay, then after selecting right the single AZ, we will go for the next one, that is the engine version. Okay, we will go
So
with
sorry, the
yes,
one with the two instance doesn't have a the secondary doesn't have a read. The one in the middle, the multi for the two instances. So
yes,
secondary is not since there's no endpoint, so you can't read the secondary, just only for standby.
yeah, it is for standby. If right when your primary will fail, only then this will be activated.
So the standby is not readable as well.
Yeah, it is not readable.
Oh, it's
When
not
the
readable.
primary
Oh
is
wow,
live, yeah, when the primary is live, it is not readable.
it's not readable. Okay.
No, so it is just standby, right? It is for fault tolerance and for disaster recovery, right? So if primary fails, it will be failing over, right, the request to the standby. So it will do right, say synchronous replication, right? So
Okay.
everything will be, all the data and everything will be saved here in a standby also,
Okay. So
right?
anybody that wants secondary variable, they will use the first option with the three instances
Yeah, definitely,
to be able to.
definitely.
Okay. Okay.
This
I
is
see.
this is
So they want people to
yeah.
spend more money.
hmm This is highly, right,
Okay.
fault tolerant and redundant. So definitely. So if you have, right, huge read traffic, you should consider this one, right?
Okay. It's clear now.
Yep, yep. So then we have engine, right? So engine version. So here generally, right, we select the latest one, right? So you see the latest version that is available is 8.4.9, I think. Can you see anything higher than that? No, that is the high, right? Recent latest one. So 8.4.9, we will go with that. And here you see the database identifier. Okay, we will just keep this one. Okay, this is the identifier for the database instance. Just like we create our EC2 instance, right? And we name it, we tag, right, the name. So it is just like that. So this is the name for the database engine, right? The instance. Okay. Then the credentials, right? We create, right, credentials to log in, right? Who can access, right, the database, right? So we need to create a master username, right? So here is the master username. So here let us keep it admin, and the credentials, right? You see managed. If we go with this managed by AWS, right? Secrets manager. So definitely it will be secure, right? It will be getting the reference, right? We can just refer to the secret manager, right? So it's another service. So we will be exploring that later, right? In more advanced topic. So for now, we will be using a self-managed password, right? So self-managed need to select, and here we need to put our password, right? So let us enter the password. Okay, so I'm entering a very easy password. So you see, in this password you cannot use these symbols, cannot use these symbols, right?
Oh,
Forward
okay.
slash, single quote, double quote, and at the rate, right? So you need to avoid
Okay.
these. Yes, you can use any other special character except this one. So we will keep it
So
password authentic. Yes, yes, please.
sorry, you said that we will talk about the secret manager and the self-manage in the later for next topic. Is that right? Later in
Yeah,
advanced classes.
yes,
Okay.
yes. Later in
Okay.
advanced class. Yes, correct.
Okay. 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 Good.
Yes, secret manager. Right. Yes. So when we will be getting into the session, right? Systems manager. So in that, secret manager is part of that systems manager. Okay.
Ah, okay.
So we will be getting into that. Yes. So here we are creating a self-managed password, and we are also not auto-generating. So here we go. We will keep the authentication, right, as password authentication. So the password that we are using, right? So we will be using this password, right, for authentication, right? So for now we will go with that. And next, you see we have instance configuration. So in instance configuration, here it is the, right, the capacity of the instance, that just like for our EC2 instance, we are selecting, right, that okay, what will be the instance type, right, the size of the instance, what, how many, how much RAM we want, how much, how many, right, CPU we want. So same thing we are doing here, right, in instance configuration. So here we also select the instance type. You see, we have instance type. So the instance types that we have here, you see, okay. So these two are available. That means, right, these are available for free tier. Okay. So by default, it is selected db.t4g.micro. So it is giving us two, right, virtual CPUs and 1 GB of RAM. So and the EBS bandwidth is giving, right, 2000 Mbps, right, over 2000 Mbps, and network up to 5 gigabits per second. So that is, right, overall capacity, and right, we are getting with this particular uh, instance type. Right, so the instance type in database, right? They start with DB, right? DB dot. So that is what we are getting here. We will keep this one, and then the storage. Now you see again, these are backed by EBS, right? EBS volume. So you see, we have general purpose SSD GP2, right? General purpose 2. So then the allocated storage. Now you see, so minimum, right? You must select 20 GB, right?
Okay.
And you can select up to 6144 GB, you see, right? And in additional storage configuration, you see, by default, it is enabling this auto scaling, right? It is checked by default. So auto scaling, if it is enabled, right, and whatever number you have here, that means you want to auto scale up to 1000, right, GB, right, from 20. Whenever you require more storage, it will automatically scale up to 1000. So you're not allocating, right, because whatever size you allocate here, right, you need to pay for that, right? Whatever you size you allocate, you will start paying for that, right? Since right when you are creating it, right? So from when you just created your database instance, whatever size you allocate, you need to pay for that, right? So if I say I'm starting with 100, so I need to start paying, right, for 100 GB from the starting, right? Even if I'm not using it, because I allocated. We know that EBS volumes, right? They need to get it allocated first, right? We allocate EBS volumes, right? So here we will go with the minimum one, that is 20. And although we are already in free tier eligible, right, count, so that is fine. Here we will click on in, right, enable storage. We will disable this auto scale. We don't, because we will be not storing that data, that much data, right, here. So we are just disabling this. Connectivity, again, do not connect to an EC2, right, compute resource. Now, definitely we will be connecting it, but we will be connecting it manually, right? We will be connecting it manually, right? So if we want to connect, we can connect directly using this option. So for now, let us skip this one. And you see VPC, let's go with the default VPC. We will keep it in default VPC. The DB subnet group also, we will keep it in the default subnet group. Public access, we will go for no. We don't want, right, anybody from internet, right, or any third party client to access my database, so we'll keep it no. But if we say want to connect, right, to our database, right, from a third party client, right, maybe you are using SQL Workbench, right, maybe you are using your Microsoft SQL Server, right, on your desktop, or right, your PC. So to connect from those clients, right, you need to enable this public access. You need to enable public access if you're using a third-party client, right, to access your cloud database. So for that, you need to enable public access. But we will not connect from any other third-party client, but we will be connecting from EC2 instance. So we will giving instance, right, direct access, right, to this database instance, right. So from security group. So here you see we will go with the VPC, right, security group. This is the firewall, right, just like security group we have for our EC2 instance. So for our database instance also, we select, right, the security group, right, and definitely for the security group, right, that we have for our database, it must allow, right, access from the EC2 instance, right. It must allow access from EC2 instance. So we can create a new security group, right, and we can call it DBSG, right. So let me prefix with go to identify it, right? So go DB security group, right? And we need to configure it later. We will be configuring it. Okay, so we keep the availability zone as no preferred. It will select automatically. It will randomly will select one. So we don't want any RDS proxy, for now it is out of say this our current module. So proxy also we will be going later. So uh, here certificate authority is optional. So this is again not required, but we can keep it default. This is again required when you generally connect to other third party clients. At that time they ask for the certificate to validate, right? So as we are using feature eligible database engine right now, so this is not required. And we know our MySQL, it's open source, so it is having open source license, so MySQL is open source, right? Anybody can use it for free.
Okay.
Yep. So then in additional configuration, never change this one 3306. So this is the communication port, right? This is the communication port for our EC2 instance, right? Say database, right? So now when we will be connecting from our EC2 instance to database, we will be actually connecting to this port, right, on database. So now fine here additional monitoring, we will not enable anything. We will not enable enhanced monitoring. We will not go for any logging, but you can see you have all the logs, audit logs, error logs, general logs, IMDb authentication error logs, so slow query logs. So everything that you want to log, say, you can push them to Amazon CloudWatch, the monitoring service. So you can publish those logs to CloudWatch service directly, where we don't want that right now. And you see it is creating a default role, IAM role, that will actually allow this RDS instance to send these logs to CloudWatch, so that is what it creates this service related role automatically. And when we discussed the IAM service, at that time we have seen that there are so many roles available, and most of those roles are actually created by service, when we are configuring these services. So at that time it creates the role that is required to access that particular service, so definitely here what we want to send or publish these logs to CloudWatch. So RDS need permission, RDS need permission to send all these logs to CloudWatch, and for that it is creating a role here, to allow RDS to send the log. So then we have additional configuration here. Here it is the initial database name. So let us go for demo. Okay, let us call it demo. Okay, the database. Okay, let us have it demo, or we can also have demo DB. Okay, let's go for demo DB. Okay, demo hyphen db or demo underscore db. Okay, so whatever database we create, we will see when we will be accessing it, we will have this database already created. So we will not change this db parameter group. We will keep this default. Option groups will be default.
What?
Enable
Why
encrypt.
did they call it our initial database name? So does it
Yeah,
mean we can create like a second database name, third database name? Why is it
yeah.
initial?
Okay, initial, because this will be the database. It will be already created when we will be accessing the database, from EC2 instance. So we can get rid of that later, and we can create a new database as well.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, to start with, it will just create this one, right? So, so you see, if you do not specify database name, right, AWS RDS does not create a database. So then we have to create it manually again, right? Once we have access, right? So here DB parameter group, we will keep it as it is. So in parameter group, definitely generally what it has, right, all the environment variables and everything, right? So that is stored here in parameter group. So we will go with the default parameter group. So later when we will be actually say accessing, right, this from a web server, right? So that will be again the advanced part when we will be connecting, when we will be creating that three-tier architecture, right? We will have a web tier, then right then after that we will be having a database tier. Okay, so at that time we will see that okay what, right, the parameter group right consist. So if we are not say providing a particular say variable, right, we are not enabling or we are not changing, right, certain configurations in parameter group, it will right not allow your web server, right, to access the database, right? So that is again for now we will keep the default one. And the encryption, definitely you see, so whatever data that we keep, right, by default it gets encrypted. This is enabled by default, but for now we don't want the encryption, so here we will just disable this. And you see backup, by default it is also having, right, the automated backup enabled now. And you see backup retention period, by default it is 1 day. And this is again very important, right, when you go for certification exams, right? So by default it is 1 day for it is right, we have selected the free tier. Okay, that also you need to remember. And you should always check, right, different options. If you select, right, different say production level, so at production level your database retention, right, backup retention period will change, right? So and the most important thing, you can, right, set it, you can change it to up to 35 days. So you can retain the backup, right, for 35 days. The automated backup will be retained for 35 days. That is the maximum limit. And beyond that, if you want to retain it, then you need to do manual backup, right? You need to do a manual backup, right? So we will just uncheck this, enable automated backup. We don't want, right, the backup right now. So maintenance, again you see, enable auto minor version upgrade. So if there is any great version upgrades for the database engine, so it will automatically do that. Okay, so let us remove it for now. So because we will be tearing down, right, the instance as, right, once we are done. So we don't want this minor version upgrade. And maintenance window, no, right, no preference. So you can also choose, right, okay, when you want to do all those updates and everything, right, all the maintenance tasks, right, maybe when you want to take the update the automated backups. So if you choose the right a window, it will go for, right, that particular window for all those updates, right, upgrades and backups, right? So no preference, if you go with no preference, it will choose, right, it will choose automatically, it will choose, right, a time when it is having right, least traffic, right? And at that time it will start doing, right, the backups. And it will maybe if the upgrades are available, it will do all those upgrades, right, when it is no preference is selected. So it will automatically select, right, a window. So here we go. We have, right, estimated monthly cost. You can see as we have selected RDS free tier, right, available. So that is why there is no charges. Otherwise, if you select a dev test or your production, right, then you will see a huge bill here, right, a monthly bill. So if you just keep, right, the basic say configuration running, right. So let's go for it. Let us create the database. I'm clicking on create database. So definitely you should not keep this database running. Okay, you should not keep this running uh, beyond, because again, right, the account that I am using, right, definitely this is an old account, right? For new account, definitely if you are creating, right, with the free tier one, so it will be say using the credits, right? But here in this account, right, I do not have any credits, right? In this account we don't have it, because this is right, old account. So here the free tier limit, right, is for 12 months, right? We have 12 months
Oh,
limit,
okay. Ah, okay.
right, without credits. So if we exceed, right, the free tier eligibility limits, right, so we will be, right, get billed, right, for that additional usage. But in new accounts, the one that you have, right, you will not get any bills, because it will automatically, right, whenever you get say you configure something, right, that will cost you, so it is disabled by default, right, in your account, right, so you will not get, right, billed. So that is safe, right? So here you see we are consuming 20 GB of EBS volume, right, here in this instance itself. And if I create, right, say we need to create our EC2 instance also. Now when we create a EC2 instance, for that it will take 8 GB, right, for EBS volume. So 20 plus 8 is 28, and the maximum that we can go is 30 GB. Right. So that means if I create another, right, third instance, maybe that is running in another region, so it will cost for that, right, EBS volume. Right. So whatever limit, right, we are exceeding, we just need to pay for, right, that limit. So database generally takes some time, right, to create. So let it create this. So meanwhile, what we will do is, let us configure, right, the EC2 instance, right, quickly. So I'm just duplicating this tab. Okay, I will click on duplicate, and here in top shortcuts I will look for EC2, and then we will click on launch instance, launch without walkthrough. We will call it say mm, demo instance. Okay. So here, this time we will go with the Ubuntu. We will go with the Ubuntu AMI, Amazon Machine Image. We will go with Ubuntu,
Okay.
and then the instance type will be same, the free tier eligible one, T2 Micro. Key pair to take, right, remote connection. We need, right, the key pair. So VPC key, I don't know, Go key or Go NAT key. I don't know. These keys are available now. They must be available, but I'm not sure. So no issues. Let me just create a new key pair. So go new key. Okay, and we need PPK, because we will be using the putty, right? So for putty we need PPK, and we'll click on create key pair. Done. So the file got downloaded. The private key got downloaded, and here we will keep everything as default, right? And you see, we will just keep this SSH traffic, right, for our EC2 instance, right, for our EC2 instance. So we will create a new security group, and it will allow SSH traffic. That is what we need. We need to just do SSH, right, on top of our EC2 instance, right? So let it create, and you see it is creating launch wizard 21. Okay, you need to remember this, right? Launch wizard 21. This is the security group of the EC2 instance, and we created a new security group for our DB instance, right? So that's fine.
Okay.
We will, yeah, so we will go for launch instance, right corner, we'll click on launch instance, done. So it will create the instance, and here we go. Okay, done. So our instance got created, it's running now. So let it finish the initialization. Till then, let us go back and check the database. So okay, our database is also available now. You see, it is available, right? So we will click on this database one instance identifier, and then we will look for the security group, right? So here you see mm, here application configuration. So group, they have changed this interface for monitoring live and configuration endpoints. Okay, so here you see VPC security group, right? So this is the one that we created, right? GoDB SG. So we'll just click on this. We will hit we will hold control and then we will click on it. Hold control and click. So this will open this security group. So here is the GoDB SG. So we will get inside this, and in inbound rule, you see currently what it is doing is it is having this open right for 3306. I will edit this, and instead of this IP, I don't want this IP. This is my IP, right? This IP address that you see is my IP for this system, but I don't want this system, right? I don't want to access it from my local system, right? So I want this database to be accessed from the EC2 instance. So here what I will do is we need to go for custom, and from here we need to select the launch wizard 21, the one that we selected right for the EC2 instance. So here we
Oh, okay.
see launch wizard 21. Okay, we need to select 21. So where is 21? Here we go, launch wizard 21. Sorry. Okay, so why it is giving us this error? Because we had something different here, right? So whenever we try to change that, right? So without deleting it, it gives that error. Okay. So if we go for launch wizard 21, so let me show you once again. 21, it is showing you this error, right? You may not specify a reference, right? Reference group ID for an existing IPv4 CIDR rule. So definitely what we will do, we will uh, click on delete, and then we will click on add rule, and then here we will select MySQL Aurora, and here now we can select the launch wizard 21. Okay, so here we go. Now it's fine, and we will save. Okay, so always delete the rule, the existing rule, and then you create a new rule, so then you will not face that issue. So save rule, done. Now what basically we have done, right, is we allowed only that EC2 instance security group, right, to access. That means any instance, right, having this particular security group can access the database. So this is a secure way to access it, right, without allowing any other say anybody from internet to access, or from any other any other security group, right, any other resource. So it will allow access to only my EC2 instance that we created, this one, right? Now quickly access this again. Let us connect using the instance connect. Let's see the instance connect is available or not, right? So if instance connect is available, we will be connecting directly from the browser itself. We don't have to use the client, right, the putty client. Okay, so you see the Ubuntu, it's available. We don't have to use the key. we can just do the right commands here. Clear. And now what we need to do, we need to access the database, right? But to access the database, first thing what we need to do, sorry, we need to configure the uh, client, the right, the SQL client, right? Now to configure the SQL client, we need to right install it here. So by default, right, it's not available, right? By default, it's not available. Say if I do my SQL, say version, you see, it's not showing
Oh,
us.
oh, okay. Mm.
Okay. So what we will do, we will install it. So to install, we will run a command. Say first apt update -y. Always you should do this. Okay, so sudo. We need to use sudo.
S- So that APT update, why? So what's the meaning? Is that like update or what?
So it updates right all the packages and everything, right? So every because
From the
the AMI,
database, or which
yes,
packages? Is it from database?
it is the from the repository. So when we are using this apt, right, what we do is we are fetching right packages from the repository, right?
Oh, okay.
So it makes sure that everything, the list and everything is updated right to the latest one. So it syncs with the repository, right? So we
So those
always need to
packages,
use sudo.
is it database packages or Linux packages?
It is all packages available in it, right? So Ubuntu is also a Linux based right operating system. It's a
Yes,
Linux
yes.
operating system, right? Yep. So it is updating all the packages available in that repository.
Oh,
It is
okay, I
all the
see. Okay.
application.
So
Yeah,
so
package means
latest version. Okay.
applications. Yes, yes.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Yep. You see, it will update everything. Okay, done. So you see, saying 84 packages can be updated, right? So it found right, it updated with the list, and it can see that okay, we can upgrade actually 84 packages that is currently installed in this say instance, right? But we don't have to upgrade them right now because that will take some time. But now what we'll do, we will install the one that we need, right? That is, so we will go for sudo apt install -y, and then we need MySQL client. Okay, we need MySQL client, so we'll go with this, and here we go. Okay, it's installing the MySQL client, and here we go. It's ready. So now let us try MySQL version. Okay, now you see it's available, right? So now it's available. So now what we will do is we will connect with our database. Okay. So to connect with the database, what we need is we need the endpoint. You see, here we have this endpoint. So we need endpoint. So I'm copying this endpoint. Okay, I'm copying the endpoint. And then I'll go back here. I will type my SQL space -h. So here we need to provide that endpoint. So I will paste that endpoint here. And then we need to put the user. Okay, so the user that we created, the master user, it is admin, right? And then we need to specify -p, and then we will need to hit enter, and here we need to enter the password that we created, right? We need to enter the password that we created. So let me enter that here. Enter. Okay, now you see we got connected.
Ah, okay.
Okay, so this is MySQL, right? Is the one that right we have in RDS. So now to check right whether we got connected to that database or not. First thing, right, the proof is that okay we use this endpoint, right, and we got connected. That means definitely we got connected to our RDS instance, right? And to verify again cross check, right, what we can do is let us run a command, right, that is say uh, show databases, and you see the initial database that we created, you see that. Okay,
Yes.
instead of demo it became
Oh,
demo,
okay.
okay, when there was a typo.
Oh, okay.
So no issues.
Mm.
Okay, so you can see that, right, demo db is available here,
Oh, okay.
right? So if we want to create a new database now, we can do that. Okay, say let me run a command, right, or the statement create database, right, and say go. Okay, I'm naming the database as go. Okay, enter. You see, query okay, one row affected. Now if I use this show databases, you see now you have go, right? So once you create, right, it doesn't matter. So if you keep it blank, right, when we are doing it, so at that time it will not show, right, or here it will not show anything, right? So you can just start creating your own, right, new database here, and then we can manipulate, right, that database. Yeah, so here we can see we got connected, and we can see the database here, right? So okay, Wilson, if you have any questions here.
Oh, no, not really. It's straightforward. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
great,
Yeah.
great, great, great.
It's straightforward. Yes.
Yep. So now let me show you. Let me exit from here,
Okay.
and again let me clear this. And you see, if I remove the database, right, from the here, we have the security group. Okay, so here I will edit the inbound rule again, and if I right delete this, right, inbound rule for the database, right? So now I don't have any inbound rule. That means if I try to connect, right, this time it should fail, right? It should fail. So enter. Okay, you see, it got stuck. It got stuck. It is not going forward, right?
Ah, okay.
Because we don't have the security group, right? A rule allowing the instance to connect, right? So definitely if you are getting same kind of issue, that okay, after entering the password it is not going through, it just stuck, that means what is the issue? Just check the security group, right, of your RDS, right, instance. Got it? So here again if we just reinstate that, okay, so this will again start working. So 21 save rule. Okay, here we go. So let me suspend it once, run it again. You see, right? So I
Yep.
again I right created the rule and done. Okay. So you see, how it works. Again, I will just exit. Okay, and okay, in the next session, what we will do. Okay, Wilson, how good you are with SQL queries with SQL
Uh, yeah, let's say intermediate. I'm not developer,
intermediate?
SQL developer, but yeah, I can write some basic query. Yes.
Okay, great, great. So we will be doing that right here in RDS. Okay, in the next session. Okay.
Oh, okay, that's good. Yeah.
Yep, yep. So it will be a complete recap, right, for you. So, all right. So everything you will be getting, right? A lot of
Oh, that's
technologies you
nice.
will be learning.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Good.
So, yep. So, you came for AWS, you will get Linux, you will get SQL. All right. So
Ah,
you
that's
will
good.
get everything.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's why I enrolled for the master AWS, so
yes,
to have deep
yes,
knowledge
yes.
about Redis, document
Yep,
DB, so on. Yeah.
yep, yep, yep.
Okay.
Definitely. Okay, so here, what we will do, we will be exiting from this now, and we will continue right this. I will stop. I will delete these instances. I will terminate. Okay. So as I told you, and when you are also practicing, you just practice it and you just tear down, right, when you are not using them. So here I will delete this database also. So select. And one thing you should always notice that how I'm deleting it. Okay, actions and then delete, right? Now, when I'm deleting it, you see it is giving us this option, right? Create final snapshot, right? This is a backup, right, of the database.
Oh, okay.
Don't create this one, right? Because if you create this again, it will create a backup and it will cost you money. Right now,
Oh,
in the sense money, it will just deplete, right, your credit, right? So we will
okay. I
uncheck
guess that
this.
was what happened to me. Yeah,
Hmm.
it got created snapshots, so and I was getting charged. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Until they deleted the snapshot. Oh, okay.
Yep, yep, yep. So you need to uncheck that and you need to acknowledge that, okay? And
Okay.
here you need to type delete me. Done. So we'll click on delete. Now it's gone. And now there will be no more charges, nothing, right? And sometimes you also get the option, right, for to create a proxy when you delete it, right? Or when you are creating the database, at that time you get, right, the option to create a proxy. So we don't have to create proxies, okay? So always check these fields here, right? Proxy and the automated backups and the snapshot, these fields, right? uh if you have any resource here, right? So if you have anything here, if you see anything here, that means these resources, right, will cost you money. So that is your credit. So you need to get rid of them.